It's September 14th. It's another video on our NFL data set. In particular, this page right over here to the right, as I scroll up and down, is filled with all the NFL regular season data. And that data came from the organizer's calendar client over here. So in personas, this person over here in this calendar, Google Calendar, is Mandy at techvader.com. As I expand out her Google client here, you'll see that it is Amanda here, Mandy at techvader.com. So as I scroll back the accordion, I'm going to get into how our data works and how the data pipeline can be updated. So firsthand, real quick, not a lot of time on this. Mandy has used a create at calendarsnack.com Dropbox email-like address. This email address is actually a Dropbox for AWS. This Dropbox is a simple email service or CIS Dropbox. It is sitting on the calendar invite server in which we built. This particular command is a function that basically disassembles calendar invite information and stores it and then visualizes it in API 1 here in her NFL page in which she's using for the calendar invite data off of her personal calendar. So the way the pipeline works is anytime she moves any data around on her personal calendar, client that is, and moves it in and out of the email box itself by updating, canceling, and or the original create command, that data is stored here, and then subsequently anytime she moves the data around in an update or a promotion or a time change or possibly a location change, that data is updated in here. It's updated in the data in the preseason, or excuse me, the 25-26 season game data set, which she owns over here in the website that is live. That's all working off the infrastructure of an API gateway. All this data from her personal calendar that's in the calendar invite server is now transient across this bus here, using these APIs here to call and visualize the data over here for the NFL season. And then independently, she's the operator owning the data in and out of the system anytime she uses her personal calendar to change it by using all the create, read, update, and delete commands, or CRUD, of her personal calendar to the calendar invite server. Okay, so that's a quick setup. Hopefully not too confusing. Let me get into the data side of it. So let's just get into the fact that here is her site here. I'm going to go ahead and expand it. So she's pumped the data into the calendar invite server. The calendar invite server is talking to the APIs, and this is her game site. So we're going to pick out a particular game and show you that. Let's go ahead and pick out the San Fran I have tagged versus New Orleans. So two places I got to find it. I got to find it over here, which is right here, game details. You'll see that that's San Fran versus New Orleans. That's for today, September 14th. So I'll go back to her personal calendar here, and I'm going to align that same calendar event here, and that's right there. You can see that data got in the calendar invite server that's talking with those APIs I showed you all. It's talking to this 25-26 season game calendar, which she owns as well. And in particular, I'm going to change this data in her personal calendar, and it's going to show up over here because she's running create, read, update, and delete off this calendar talking to the calendar invite server. So we're using the high performance characteristics of an off-the-shelf calendar client, which it is. It's an amazing piece of software. And you all know that there's literally billions of these clients out there. So that's why we use it. It's ready and off the shelf, as we call it. There's nothing to do. So it works globally under all languages for event coordinators, which Mandy is the organizer today, coordinating a whole bunch of game events off the NFL schedule as a demo. So you can see I dumped in a event message here, which is considered an update. All I'm going to do is save it. It's talking directly to the calendar invite server again. It's really considered an update. So what I did here was I manipulated some data in her personal calendar right here. I picked out, drilled into a particular event, I changed it, and I sent it back through this pipeline here. And what the pipeline is going to do is change this data automatically in the season calendar. So let's go take a look at that. And you'll see here that I did not refresh this, but when I refresh it, you're going to see that that's not the correct way to refresh it. I'm sorry. And let me go back here. Just go to the general one. We'll go here to week 2. I will go back to the game. That particular game we're looking for is the San Francisco versus New Orleans, and it's right here. Here are the game details, and you'll see that the event message has been updated. So that's kind of very important and crucial to understand that we pump data from a personal calendar, talking to the calendar invite server. The calendar invite server is talking to the essentially the APIs for this particular custom-built mini site in which Mandy owns as the organizer. So let's go downstream and pretend that now Zach is a customer. And so how would you know that? Well, Zach now is here as a actor in this scene, if you will, and he is now a customer of Mandy's, and Mandy's the operator of this NFL mini site. So what Zach's going to do is put in his email address, zach@techvader.com. You see that this is a stock email box. These are stock over the internet. There's billions of these any given day. So that's why we use it. It's very simple to understand. Zach puts his email address in, clicks get the calendar invite, and it's sent to Zach. So Zach downstream is a consumptor now, a customer of Mandy's, and Mandy's running all this data in this game schedule. So you can see that Zach just received this data here. He's like, wow, that's cool. I sent it myself. It's on my calendar. Obviously, I'm going to go. And then I'm going to stop by this booth to get a $125 VIP jersey. So that's kind of the end of the demo there. Now, one particular thing in which I can get into real quick is if I take the calendar here, at least the scheduling for the NFL out of the way here, and I collapse this and move this down, you'll know that here's the game now on Zach's calendar. Mandy's the organizer over here. Now, Mandy's talking to the API gateways, and she knows that physically she has a respondent to this game, and she's tracking these calendar receipts in this system here, which is her dashboard. Now, this dashboard's talking to the same set of APIs and data sets for the calendar invite server, and also tracking the granularity of these particular games. So that was for the New Orleans game. She's like, oh, okay, I see that there's a respondent downstream. Now, sometimes we have 3 or 4 respondents, we're tracking data, and then the organizer decides, hey, I need to change something around. It could be an event message for a promotion, it could be a time change, or it could be a physical location change. So all that's done in the create, read, update, and delete engine of Mandy's calendar, since she's the organizer, talking to the calendar invite server that runs all this API gateway service from the data side. So let's get into the linear part of looking at this data, and I'm going to go to the New Orleans game, and we're going to pretend that there was a booth change. So let's go to the game. Mandy decides to, hey, this VIP game has now changed. I'm going to change it, and I'm going to push that data back to the calendar invite server, and it's going to essentially bypass the NFL mini site, and it becomes a update engine or a pipeline update engine for calendar invite messaging, and anybody that is has accepted yes or maybe downstream of the first calendar invite will receive the updated calendar invite, which you've just seen here. Here's Zach over here being a customer of Mandy's, and Mandy, the organizer, updated it, and then the pipeline automatically updates the calendar invite downstream to anybody that says yes or maybe, and you can see that the new data set now pumped into the message body through the calendar invite server API gateway is now saying booth 1000, and that's the end of that part. Now Proof positive would be showing you that this here in the middle would be the NFL mini site that Mandy built. That's pumping data for visual display as well. And for customers like this, like Zach or anybody else that puts in, would get this updated information here first time. And or essentially the API information is live and getting updated at all times. So what I'm going to do is go back up here, refresh the page because we are pulling API gateway. I'm going to go to week 2, and you'll see the San Francisco New Orleans was that particular game, and you'll see that this data here now is updated as well. So when you go look at the finalization of the long-winded demo here, you see that Mandy was over here. She's pumping data through this API gateway. The API gateway itself is essentially dissecting the data, storing it, and it's ready and loaded for someone like Zach downstream to put his put his email in and get a calendar invite. That's an important piece. But also in the middle, anything that is API attached, if you will, is always live streamed, and then the data is always being flushed out for a complex game schedule like the NFL. But also important to this whole thing is that in the middle ground, the Calendar Snack app is the organizer's dashboard, and we do the same for the organizer dashboards. The same plays through, it's the same data set, same set of APIs, so you can see in a linear fashion that this whole stack of APIs plus the functions built in as well as the AWS infrastructure is all running this essentially on top of the Calendar Snack app and this mini site we built. But just as important, the organizer is using, he or she is using their personal calendar or business client to pump data in and out in a live stream pipeline for calendar invite information to be updated. Thanks for stopping by.